What is going on, everyone? Griffin here, and today we are going to be going through the Helm character creation process. So let's head over and let's talk about it. So going through the character creation process, we have talked about the expertise, how essence works, how the warding systems work, alacrity, speed, of course, what our ability modifiers are and our actual abilities. And the main thing that we haven't hit on as of yet is how the Helm character creation system works. Now, this is made to streamline how characters are created. So the Helm character creation system is the backbone for creating the perfect character that you envision. We strive to remove unnecessary restrictions or overly complicated mechanics while creating a character in an effort to streamline the process. This also helps players to express themselves to the fullest extent by avoiding unnecessary compromises. Helm stands for Heritage, Expression, Lineage, and Mastery. So first up is Heritage. Heritage is defined as something that is transmitted by or acquired from a predecessor. In short, heritage refers to your character's ancestral bloodline. The base traits of your character will come specifically from the heritage that you choose. While choosing the heritage for your character, you will additionally gain a +2 ability score increase to any score that you want to increase, and you will also receive +2 expertise points that can be dispersed as you see fit. Your heritage options are as follows: human, orc, elf, darrig, dwarf, fairy, goblin, Therian, giant, and genie. We're still thinking about the genie thing, not 100% sure on that as of yet. For expression, when moving into the expression section, you will have the ability to decide the expressive options that personalize your ideal character. These options can be anything that makes the perfect character, as it has no beneficial or detrimental mechanical effects on the character's ability. If you want your character to have wings, go for it. If your character has horns, go for it. There is nothing to hold you back. Additionally, this will allow you to present the ideals, morality, bonds, and flaws for your character. Some of these will come naturally, while others may require a bit more thought. Please feel free to work with the Oracle on the expressive side of your character, as it will allow for the character background to become more fleshed out by giving more expression, ideals, and flaws. Possible expressions may include, but is not limited to, gender, age, height, weight, skin color, eye color, ideals, bonds, and morality of your character. The general expression of your character should be the basis for interactions within the world and with other characters. For lineage, we view lineage as a means of further expression for your character, something that adds certain mechanical benefits while also adding additional flavor to expand on the type of character you want to build. This will be directly linked to the background of your character. This can be applied in multiple ways. For example, you can have a heritage of a human mother and a lineage of an elf father, so your character could be considered a half human, half elf. You could choose the heritage of a goblin, but raised by a family of orcs. The character would not be half goblin, half orc, but have the traits and outlook of an orc while having the appearance of a goblin. Additionally, lineages could also provide options for things that have directly affected you in some way, such as vampirism or lycanthropy. Regardless, these options exist to expand the background and expression of your character in very interesting and mechanical ways. Please see below for an explanation of each lineage that is present. And then there's little bonuses, of course. So human, you're gonna gain 1 additional expertise. Orc, when taking this lineage option, you can expend an additional essence to give yourself favor on death resistance checks. Elf, you gain movement speed. Dwarf, you regain all HP on a limited repose when you select the lineage. City, while falling, you can reduce falling damage by 1 HP per essence with this lineage option. Infernal, when taking this lineage option, you have the ability to create flames in your palm, additionally increasing vision and darkness by 5 feet. This consumes 1 essence. Demigod, when taking this lineage option, you have the ability to create light in your palm, additionally increasing vision and darkness by 10 feet in a line. This consumes 1 essence. Draconic, this lineage option allows you to use 1 essence to use your breath weapon, dealing 1 damage. Doman, When taking this lineage, you have shadow sight but limited daylight vision. You can see 60 feet in darkness but only 10 feet in daylight. Vampirism, this option allows you to use 1 essence to regain 1 HP when reducing an enemy's HP. Lycanthropy, you can expend 1 essence to transform into a were creature. This allows you to add favor to 1 die roll, but you are vulnerable to silver weapons. Cataphract, when taking this option, you cannot wear armor, but you will have a natural warding of 17. Protean, you can expend an essence to shapeshift into a humanoid creature that you have seen. Knock, you can expend 1 essence to breathe underwater with this lineage option. Additionally, you must spend 1 essence to breathe air when leaving the water. Mastery, this is the final part to the Helm system. This will be the primary method used to gain abilities and additional options that your character will have access to. You will have the option to start with a pre-made mastery set, or you can use a point system called boons to fully customize your character in every way you see fit. The mastery option method removes all traditional restrictions in an effort to allow players ultimate freedom to create their own unique class that they desire. As your character progresses, you will have the ability to pull mastery options as you see fit to build the ideal character class dynamically. As a player, you can use these mastery options as a means to express a specific fantasy that you envision for your character, or to create a unique character that excels in specific areas or fills gaps that the overall party may desperately need. Lastly, when you apply mastery options to your character, you may flavor them however you would like without changing the core mechanics of how they work. There's a mastery option that you have in mind for your character, but there is not an option that exists. Please work with the Oracle along with the other party members to create your own unique mastery option. Please see the expanded mastery options section for a list of pre-made mastery sets along with single mastery options for your character. So the Helm system. So Heritage is basically going to be like both of your parents or one of your parents. It just kind of depends on how you want to build that specific character out. And that's kind of where your basic, races or species, whatever you want to call it, that's where they kind of come from. Human, orc, elf, daring, which is a halfling, dwarf, fairy, goblin, therian, which is like a humanoid creature with animal properties. So it could be like a centaur, something like that. Giant. And then, like I said, we are kind of experimenting with the idea of a genie. Expression allows you to customize that character in any way you see fit. If you want to give your character horns, wings, things like that, they have no mechanical benefits. You just have those things. And if you want to have the ability to fly, if you have wings, or use your horns as a weapon, then you can pick up mastery options that will allow you to do that. With lineages, essentially this is a way for you to add even more expression to your character. And this could be in a way of where one parent may be from one specific race or species while the other parent may be from another race or species, or it could have things that happen to you directly. Like vampirism, demigod. If you weren't born naturally from a god, you could have been bestowed with demigod type abilities for whatever reason that involves your character's background. Draconic would be more in line with Dragonborn or Kobolds, things like that. Vampirism, Lycanthropy, Cataphract is kind of like the Warforged, where you're basically a suit of armor and you could be trapped in it. You could be a soul that's been confined to it. It could be any number of things. You could just be a robot that's been built and you have sentience, things like that. This allows you to further express your character and give those little nuanced things and have a slight little mechanical benefit when you pick that lineage. And lineages could be picked up while you adventure, right? If you're adventuring and you're fighting against werewolves, then you could already have a heritage and a lineage that have been chosen at character creation, but then your character could be stricken with lycanthropy or vampirism or, infernal. Let's say if you make a pact with a demon, or, if you have to go to hell for some reason and you start becoming, it really all comes down to like how the Oracle and the players kind of play out the campaign or the individual story that they're trying to tell. It allows you to further expand on that. And then, of course, mastery options are mastery options. What we were trying to do here was, whenever you look at Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, a lot of these other game systems, you get all these different things, these bonuses you get from your species or race, from backgrounds, from tools, from all of these different things give you like just a huge checklist of stuff that you have access to. 90% of the characters, at least from my experience, and I can't speak for everybody out there, but 90% of players forget that they have access to the majority of this stuff that is just kind of given to them because they pick a specific species and they pick a specific background. It's not something that is hyper focused in their brain because it's not something that they had to realistically sit down and think about from their character's perspective of, would this mastery option make sense for my character to have? Have I, endured certain things in this campaign that would make sense for my character to pick these mastery options up? Our goal is hopefully that by picking 3 mastery options and keeping everything super simple, it could be anything from, being passive abilities, things that are more useful outside of combat, where they're more active abilities, stuff that you use inside of combat, things like that. You picking those options and you knowing what those options do, reading those options, discussing those options with not only the players, but also the Oracle, and kind of using that as a way to build out your character. The players are more apt, at least in my test, more apt to remember what they have access to and more apt to use the things that they have access to, as opposed to running 20 or 30 sessions before someone's like, oh yeah, I have that one thing that does this one thing that would have been really cool if I remembered that I had that 10 sessions ago. Trying to get rid of that idea of losing all of this stuff and just being like flooded with all of these different things that you have access to at 1st through 5th level. That's really whenever players are learning to play the game. And in most systems, they are completely flooded with options and also with just lists of things that they can do. And it's almost too much for them to keep track of in their head, on their character sheets, whatever. This is a way to try to simplify that down. You pick your heritage, you pick your lineage, you have your expression, which is what your character looks like. You get the 1 bonus from your lineage, and then you start picking your mastery options and your equipment. And that is about as simple as you can get whenever you're, building a character out. And if you use a pre-made mastery option, you can have a character built in the time that it takes you to roll up your stats. And that it doesn't take long. I would say in less than 3 minutes, you can have a character made up. So if you do have a character death, or if someone's coming over to play for the first time, you can by all means pick from the pre-made mastery sets and use those as jumping off points, then start customizing your character from there. And then if it's someone that's really into it and wants to play another campaign, then they're going to know what they're going to be getting themselves into, and they can fully customize their character from character creation with the boon system. So I hope that this makes sense to everyone, and hopefully it's very simple for people to understand. Once I start explaining this to people, whether they played tabletop role-playing games or not, it's fairly simple for them to understand. My heritage is my ancestral bloodline. My expression is what my character looks like. The traits, bonds, ideals, the personality of my character. Lineage is something that may have directly influenced your character recently or something in the past, such as having parents from 2 different species or race, whatever. And then your mastery options, which, like I said, you picking those mastery options or only having 3 whenever you pick a pre-made mastery set means that you're going to know those abilities, those mastery options very well. And you're going to know what you need to progress further whenever you get enough boons to be able to start pulling other mastery options and other things for your character. But be sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on a very simple character creation system where you basically pick a couple of things, roll up a couple of stats, and then you're ready to roll and start playing the game? Or do you like the in-depth, super complicated, super convoluted way of creating characters that a lot of other tabletop role-playing games have adopted? Please be sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also, be sure to check that description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. Lastly, on Thursdays and also on Sundays, I will be streaming here on YouTube. So if you're interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. Thanks for watching, guys.